Why you always pointing fingers saying it's not on you? 8 years down the drain, but you acting like it's on. Yeah, you wanna deflect when the heat's on. Pointing fingers and you blame gamers like a pawn. You built the design, now it's crashing down. Lost respect, lost the crown. You could've fought, you could've owned it. Instead you ran and left it broken. Now you're hiding, can take the heat, but don't pretend it's on repeat. Why'd you have to go make it so complicated? You act like it's their fault when it's your choices that faded. You could've stood tall, but you played the blame game. Now everyone sees through your shame. But why'd you make it so complicated?
You might be wondering who this is. This is Amanda Kiefer. She is the lead designer from Concord and has locked her tweets after shutting down a redesigner's attempt at fixing what was ultimately her 8-year mistake. That's right, she says, all tweets are my own. I block bad faith actors and weirdos, formerly at Walking Dead VR, no AI or NFTs, right? And she's also locked down her Instagram. Please do not take this as a reason to go and challenge this person or attempt to contact them. This is not at all it. I just want to underline the bad behavior that we're dealing with in this whole situation. Concord is a clear loss. There's a lot of mistakes that have absolutely nothing to do with people trying to shut it down because girls were involved or whatever we're about to hear was the, impetus of what they think happened here, okay? Amanda has become hostile toward people that are redesigning the characters that she oversaw. Now, I'm assuming she's the she. She doesn't have her pronouns here, so I don't know. It could be over on her Instagram, she's got her pronouns, but that's set to private, so I don't know, okay? You'll have to forgive me, for mispronouncing you or misnoun. I don't know what it is anymore. Misgendering, whatever. So she, Amanda, has become hostile toward people doing redesigns because it causes emotional duress because of what has happened in her life. Now, you may be wondering what began this. Well, a redesign not so different from this. I believe this is the one that started it. I'm not sure. I believe this was very similar to the one that started it anyway. And so there's Art Attack X here from Sean Art Attacks. Here he is, posted right here. If you want to find him out, he's at art_attack X over on x.com. That's right. And his message is RIP Concord. This revamp was super quick, drawn on the bus ride home from work for fun. I could have done way better, but I'm busy. A real challenge would be revamping DAW. Sincerely, a talentless freak. And that was right, because Concord's team there, I'm not sure it was Amanda, but one of them declared that people who had a problem with the game were talentless freaks. And Sean decided to take special exception to that. Feel a little personal about that. So he set out to do that, which I believe led to this novel from Amanda. And so she writes quite emotionally. She writes this. She says, I was going to DM you after seeing this, but this site makes me pay to do that. So at the risk of getting dogpiled, I'm just going to say this here. A lot affected the art side of Concord, including design by committee, failure of some leadership to listen to the art team, etc. The character concept art team, including myself, is going through an extremely difficult time emotionally. And some on the team no longer want to work in games, design characters, or even do art anymore after this. You hear that? That truck going by? That was all of them, just all at once, just headed out of Art Town. They're on their way to learn how to code. That's right, it's terrible. The pain. Because of this, posts like yours, though understandable, are unfortunately ill-timed. None of us know which way the wind will blow with the studio. We are worried, sick, and terrified of the future. Not only that, but we have been shouldering the brunt, not the blunt. They need one. The brunt of the emotional labor as executives, the directors of the game, dodge most of the blame. Behind the scenes, all of this talk about Concord and character designs, people's livelihoods are at risk and are very real. And there are very real financial consequences that might hurt us even more. This is blinding to me that someone could say this, but I'll finish before making more commentary. That's just what I can say from our point of view. I'm not saying change course or anything. Us artists like being able to use social media to promote our work and get more jobs. But I am saying we see this and it does absolutely affect us since we just got our teeth kicked in. Boo! Boo-hoo! As It's a Gundam would say. You know? I don't feel bad for this person. I really don't. Not one bit. I encourage people to go out and do more redesigns. We'll be seeing what this person does for redesigns in just a second. What I want to commentate on here is just the absolute self-centered egotism here. Like, people out here cared enough to even in passing acknowledge that your character design existed and then tried to work it out into something they found aesthetically pleasing as opposed to the tank that you put out. I mean, we'll go back to Sean's example here. You know, there's the original right here on the right. And that, like I had mentioned before, I live in Maine and some people still use these wood fire stoves and they do come in this off olive mint color here. And she looks like she just built an armor out of a giant wood-fired oven. That's it. It doesn't, there's nothing unique about this. It doesn't, there's an old saying that just being different doesn't make you unique, all right? That it just makes you different. That's it. It doesn't set you apart. It doesn't even isolate you. You're just different, and that's the end of it. It's not special. I have a saying myself that in school, you remember the geeks, and the geeks got along, and the nerds got along, and then there were the dorks. And the dorks weren't really friends. They were just together because they didn't go anywhere else. And that's what this character looks like, and it would appear that her, it, they, their creator, whatever, Amanda is one of those dorks that just couldn't find a spot and just ended up making it to an adult in that same mindset. I don't know how you go through all of these character designs that you saw in the intro there, and then like sit there and say like, yeah, this we need to go to print with this. We need to go like, yeah, this is ready to be played by human beings. This isn't an AI training simulator. You know, it's melted bionicle. All right, you got Stabber Lang there. You got these designs like they bought that. How is that iconic in any way, shape, or form? That has, I believe, an African woman's voice coming out of it, by the way. Someone that sounds like Oprah when she did Gaia. I think it was Oprah. Was it Whoopi Goldberg? Way back in the Captain Planet days. Was it Whoopi or was it Oprah? I forget. Either way, I think it was Whoopi. It must have been Whoopi. I don't remember Oprah doing cartoons. But anyway, it sounds like that coming out of that They Bot robot. Go ahead and rewind to where They Bot is. I think it's toward the end there before Unwed Asian Auntie. I think that's, yeah, because you got Slimer and I think They Bot is just before that one. I made the video, okay? I swear. But this is what we're dealing with, is someone that won't take like credit for their work. Like, yes, you don't need to go out there and fight people that these are good, but just acknowledge like, yeah, we agreed, we signed on the dotted line. We said this was the final product. All of us got together and said this is good to go somehow. Okay? Or say that this was in the dark and we got no approval from anybody and we just went to print with it because nobody could stop us. Don't come out here and try to blame the developers or design by committee. All right? You're the lead designer. If design by committee was the problem, guess who's the person who orchestrated that? Guess who's the person who put that committee together to decide that design? Yeah, your emotional duress falls on deaf ears, It's that old meme of, oh no, the consequences of my own actions. It's horrible. It's horrible to live in a reality like this. Now, I believe I'm pronouncing this right. You can correct me in the comments below. I believe it's Kyle. It's just Kyle. It's just spelled neat. I was calling him Sail, because I assumed it was an internet name, like I have Cider. Cider. Sorry, Cider's not my real name. It's not on my birth certificate. Sorry. So maybe this is Kyle. I'm told it's Kyle. That's how you pronounce it. But Kyle over here is very kind enough to provide us. I'm sorry, I'm just stunned by this because I remembered what it is. To provide us with Amanda's redesigns of Asuka and Rey from the Evangelion series. That's how I pronounce it. You can pronounce it however you want. But this is, brace yourself. If there are small children in the room, make sure that they're looking away. This is quite horrific. And so there it is, right there. I mean, we'll open it up in a new tab and we'll just get a little too close in on it. Oh. Oh, why does it look like that? Why are they men? Oh. And you wonder, right? You know, like, oh, this is designed by committee and interference. No, I don't think so. I think that everything that you produced for Concord, Amanda, came out exactly as you envisioned it. I mean, look at this. This is just two men. This is just two dudes. This is two dudes that are curiously feminine. That's it. It's awful. But thankfully, out there on the internet, there are wonderful people who believe in doing things the right way. So they decided that they would redesign the Concord characters. And we got Permaband here who went out and found a couple of them for us. And we'll take a look at this. This is Stabber Lang, as we saw in the opening here. And as you can see, with not being a trans icon, and in fact being a black woman, a sassy black woman at that by the looks of it, with those neato self-zipping Nikes, self-lacing Nikes. Remember those from Back to the Future? Well, look at that. She's got a couple of them. Yeah, look at those. Air Force Ones there. And, of course, the obligatory underwear leotard bikini thing. I like it. And the jacket's better, by the way. The rib cut jacket with the pointy shoulder pads as opposed to the Nerf football jacket. Remember the Nerf football that had those weird lines on it, the weird Nerf veins on it? It's really weird. It's like a fingerprint engraved on it. Kind of like how they do brains for those squishy toys for Halloween, but it was a Nerf football. That's what that jacket reminds me of. Either that or like the electric heat rings on your stove. I got a gas range, but you know what I'm talking about with the electric stoves. When they're all lit up red, they just... like you could grill a steak on her shoulder pads, or his shoulder pad. I don't know what this person defines themselves as. I couldn't care less. But then there's the stove, and once again, you had a little booba. And it's pretty good. This sort of feels like Saint Seiya had a baby with I don't know, like Reboot. Remember Reboot from the early 2000s on Cartoon Network? Reboot with Bob from the supercomputer, and Enzo, who grew up to be basically Mad Max, and his sister Dot, who never aged. What a fun little show, right? What a fun little show. What a nice memory to bring back in the mind, right? You got Saint Seiya, boobs, and Reboot all in one image, right? I mean, this is what you missed, Amanda. This is what you missed. And what did you do? You made an oven. You made an oven with a golf flag on it. Gosh. And then, you know, Muncha Luncha here from the opening, redesigned as Steve Aoki with a flamethrower? AK? Whatever, it looks better. I mean, I didn't realize that was a dude. Why are his pants so high? That's bizarre. All right. Well, and this person, ERT, went out and redesigned Roka, as you saw in the beginning. This is the rejected Fortniter. You know, you remember those old prosthetics that were like trying to be flesh colored, and they had like the rubber socky fitty thingies that go over, you know, the leftover piece there, the leftover body part. I don't mean to be crude. I'm just trying to explain what I see here. And that's what's going on with this, is it just looks like she's made up of like old prosthetics and a 4-chamber rocket launcher. I don't know. But ERT had a much better idea, and I really like how it turned out. Now, I'm not sure if this is supposed to shoot toast over here on the side, but why 3? Do you make like a Big Mac with that? Do you toast the bread for a Big Mac? Because that's the only one I know that has like 3 breads in it. You 3 toasted breads. You let me know down in the comments though what you think was going on coming out of these things right here. These slats. Maybe like discs, like those launcher discs things come out of there, but they're like shurikens or something. I don't know. Either way, it's a way cooler design than like what Amanda signed off on. All right, this is what Miss Kiefer decided, or Mrs. You know, I don't know. Amanda signed off on here for yeah. Let's run with this. Let's put this out on the shelf. Wow, you know. We have another redesign of Stabber Lang, as you remember. Stabber Lang in their original presentation through Concord, then redesigned by this is Steve Bauman. Decided to give Grok a try with it, and you know I kind of like the Count Dooku tilted long daggery doodad things here. That's pretty nice with the tapered edge as well. I think that's pretty smart. Also with the armored shoulder pauldrons that have like downward facing spikes. A lot of people think upward facing spikes is a good idea until you have to reach over your head and then goes into the old noggin right there. That's got nowhere to go but into the old brain, the old decision engine up there. But with those downward facing spikes, at least when you like, like shoulder pound somebody or like, like elbow drop them, there's a good chance you can poke them with your little spiky wikies there. So I don't know, man. I think I like it better. And also the booba. I mean, you can't go wrong. Just add more booba. You have a character design you're not so sure about? Add more booba. What have we learned? Add more booba. But let's go on. Let's go on. We've got more. Here's another Roku redesign. Now, someone decided, maybe not so crazy with the booba, but maybe we make it an expressly female character by tapering the waist a little more and performing like a little bit more of that scantily panty doodad thing going on with her undergarments there. I also appreciate how the lips are exposed in this one, and it's got sort of like a RoboCop, kitty RoboCop kind of look to it. That's nice. That's nice. That's smart. And then whatever the rebreather thing is supposed to be down here, I don't know. Maybe she gets high off of like some cat gas or something. Oh, and there's like a little cat charm down on the bottom. You see how easy this is, Amanda? You see how easy this is, and you've created a unique cat-themed soldier space character? I'm still not clear about the purpose of Roka, or Roka, whatever her name was. And then another redesign of Muncha Luncha. Apparently someone else was also confused if this was a man or a woman. Perhaps that was on purpose. And someone decided to make Muncha Luncha clearly a woman. And once again, when in doubt, add booba, right? Add booba. And I think that's the lesson we learn here. Amanda, if you decide to watch this video for self-torture purposes, I assume, what did we learn? Add booba. You're not sure about a character design? Add booba. All right? If you made it this far in the video, make sure that you comment below with add booba. All right? I think YouTube will allow that. I don't know about that, though. That's a butt. That is a butt right there. But, again, I see a much better execution here. Add booba. As, push up booba in this case. Not bad. And it kept the torpedo-like shoulder pads this time too, but lost the weird Nerf texture to it. And also the rib-cut jacket. Very nice touch. I'm a fan of women with rib-cut jackets. I think that's always a smart idea. If you got a lady, rib-cut the jacket. Honestly, are women really out in the cold that long? I don't. I live in Maine, and they're not really out in the cold that long. As soon as it drops below 60, like most of the women in Maine just disappear from the earth until about May. All right, they're just gone. You occasionally see them in a car complaining in line at Dunkin' Donuts, but the rest of the time, they just disappeared from the face of the earth. So yeah, the rib-cut jacket's fine. And besides, what is she trying to keep warm here anyway? What is she trying to keep warm? And then now they rendered it in 3D, brought it through. And again, much better execution. It looks a lot more, I don't know. It just looks like something you would honestly see a empowered black lady wearing. It doesn't seem to insult what I understand a sassy knife-throwing black lady to do. And again, no trans background with this character. This is just obligatory female, And that's fine. That should be the case. You don't need to trans a character just because they exist. So now this person went and decided to do their own sort of cartoonish redesigns, and I'm in favor of it. I think it's a good one here. As you remember, there was unwed Asian auntie here, and this is what was this character? Sego. This is Sego's redesign of this character. You know, Fireball, Flame Witch, Hot Shot, kind of character design. Gave her a crossbow. I do appreciate the little triangle trinket on the hips. Kind of reminds me of VTuber things that dangle and wiggle when they talk. Not the boobs, the other things. Those can dangle and wiggle too, but just not on Twitch. But then they did Lennox. That was the lizard guy that was kind of like Budget Yondu that we saw in the beginning. It's Budget Yondu. And again, I like this design better. The Bolero belt with the charged blue shots and the revolver that has the charged shots lodged in it, loaded in it. I also like the belts. I don't know. Maybe it's the Yu-Gi-Oh fan in me, but the belts always, you know, the Final Fantasy fan in me. The belts are always cool. Inappropriate belts all over the place. Not that kind of inappropriate. Just inappropriate placement of belts. Like, why has he got belts on his boots like that? Why has he got a belt on his thigh like that? Not those other kind of belts. This is Concord, not that other kind of game. Though maybe Concord should have been a dating sim. That probably would have saved it. And then this is Roka, not the big old oven. This is the little space character, the rejected Fortniter. And again, like they kind of dropped the cat motif and embraced kind of a space hero, green space hero, with a big old laser cannon on the shoulder. Again, more interesting than what Amanda signed off on. Teo, we saw him in the beginning. That was Scout Lord from TF2, TF1. Scout merged with Star Lord, just Scout Lord. And we got Teo here, Teo. And it looks more interesting. He doesn't change too much from what Amanda signed off on, because he's pretty basic. He's got a red t-shirt on and some armor. That's about it. The only unique thing about him is he carries a gun. That's it. Which is sad, you know. I think that's like really kind of phoning it in, isn't it? Even Soldier 76 got some neat eyewear, but oh well. Finally, we do have this, okay? So if you were busy like me and you didn't have time to, because you were busy fighting the patriarchy, because you were busy fighting alt-right, if you were busy making sure that the scourge of Jordan Peterson didn't spread any further than it already had. I'm being sarcastic, of course. Here is a change.org petition that says, "We were all busy that week, all right? Please release Concord again." And so the write-up goes, this is, Concord, the hero shooter from Sony's Firewalk Studios, has shut down as of September 6th, only 3 weeks after its launch. I truly believe the game has a chance and should be re-released. All right, so this is how the change.org petition goes. Now, this person has the most upvoted one, John Concord. And thank goodness John Concord is here. I was worried. Usually John Toei comes out and makes a speech about these things, but he's, you know, it's a Sony company, and I guess John Toei has some respect for that. So we have John Concord that has come out now, and just, you know, just let us know down below what your favorite memory of John Concord is. Like, I have so many favorite memories of John Concord coming out and just settling things. John Concord, hero of the people. But John Concord has this to say. And he says, "Let me tell you why this petition is 100% necessary. The week Concord dropped, I was waist deep fighting misogynists and literal Nazis on Twitter. Like 8 hours over 5 days non-stop digital warfare. Meanwhile, Asmongold and his army were out here dragging the game to filth, and I didn't even get a second to play it for myself. I was too busy holding back the tide of fascists and trolls because apparently someone has to." Thank you, John Concord. But he goes on, John Concord. And he says this, he says, "By the time the weekend rolled around, instead of actually relaxing and checking out Concord, I had to explain my mental health breakdown to my followers. Fighting Nazis 24/7 will do that to you. And of course, I had to throw in a reminder that our bodies are beautiful, no matter what some Nazis or Asmon's army trolls have to say. The worst part, I still didn't get a chance to play Concord, and now it's gone. Now it's gone. This is why we need Concord re-released. So many of us were fighting real battles that week, real internet battles on the internet, for real. And we missed out on the game because we were too busy dealing with the actual garbage of the internet, the real actual garbage. It's only fair we get a second shot to play the game and prove Asmon's army was dead wrong. Platforms might not help us, but the least they can do is give us this. Hashtag release Concord again. Hashtag Nazis blocked. Hashtag too busy to game. Hashtag Asmon's army is wrong. So again, like, you know, John Concord just absolutely aces it here. Just, I can't even explain it better than myself. Like, we're so busy fighting the patriarchy, fighting Nazi, fighting Asmongold's army, possibly Asmongold as well, maybe atop a volcano with swords at in the middle of the night, so it's really cool looking with the glow of the lava and the underlighting and, you know, music. But anyway, just kind of like that, right? Just 24/7, too busy. Then you got to tell your followers about like your mental health breakdown because of fighting the Nazi. It's very, very time consuming. No time to play Concord. So there will be a link in the description if you would like to lend your name and thoughts on the re-release of Concord, because, you know, they just didn't get a fair shot at this, right? Just headed for the next goal of 2,500 signatures already. 1,973 there. Just, you can be 1,974. I won't. But you're more than welcome to lend your signature to the re-release of Concord, because, you know, why not? Why not? John Concord had some really inspiring words to say there. I don't remember most of them, but they seemed inspiring at the time. So, you know, Nazis and stuff, right? But anyway, guys, now you know. Now you know. This is what we're dealing with. This is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with people in and outside of the game dev environment that will not acknowledge the truth of Concord. They won't acknowledge that trash is trash. It was at the beginning. And the worst part is there are games along the way that ended up getting stomped out of existence thanks to Concord being pushed through, just to compete with Overwatch and Valorant, and those games are already tired. If you go ahead and just research any of the gameplay for Concord, this stuff already available all over YouTube. Stuff that was paid, stuff that people are just archiving for history's sake. It's just a Valorant and Overwatch ripoff. There's no other way to explain it. The HUD looks the same. The environments look the same. The obstacles look the same. The weapons look the same. The way they behave, the way the characters behave. It's just an Overwatch Valorant ripoff. And rightfully so, it didn't survive. Just like that truck going by with a load of all those tears from the Concord devs and good old Amanda there signing off on these brilliant character designs you see in this thumbnail over there on the change.org page. It's all just trash. And they knew it was all along. And that's the worst part, is they knew it was, and they won't take credit for it. They won't stand by their decision. Not that they have to fight us. That's just stupid. But just acknowledge, yeah, that was my decision to paint that guy's face red and give him a huge cancer forehead. That was my decision to do that, to make this weird lizard man that's not a lizard and has a man bun scale cluster. And a woman that inexplicably looks like she belongs in Witcher 3, not this game. You know, that's just the three that are right here, not the melted Bionicle you saw in the opening, not the Slimer, the They-Bot, you know? Not all these other characters that just... They're not even like... You can't even make fun of them. They're just so boring. There's nothing there to, like, mock. But... I don't know. Let me know what you think down below on this. Let me know what your thoughts on Concord are. By all means, check out the other videos we have here. We have a great song called Concord Spirits over on the Bounding Radio playlist. When you snap back over to the channel page here, you can check out the playlist tab. That's all the way over there on the right side of your mobile device or desktop device. Check out that playlist spot, and it says Bounding Radio, and you can check out Concord Spirits and the other songs that are featured right here on the Bounding videos. Blame Game from the beginning of this video will be featured there soon enough. If you're watching the day this video drops, it'll be Saturday. If you're watching after Saturday, go ahead and check it out as soon as the video ends. Until the next one, guys, good luck out there.